What's up, interwebs? Welcome to the Storytime Podcast. I'm Tim.
And I'm Adam.
And this is, like I said, the Storytime Podcast. This is Season 2. And we're going through a first draft of my second book I ever wrote, which was the first of, at the time, an 8-book series, Marks of Eilira, Strangers from Another World, where we follow the adventures of Zach Parks, who is cool because he collects katanas.
Yep.
And we are on episode 18, so chapter 18.
Yes.
We're closing in. There's only 25 chapters in this book. We're getting there. We're getting close to the climax.
It's close.
And before we get to the reading, we got some stuff we got to take care of. And then we'll come back and talk about after the reading and everything that. But first is, if you're going to enjoy this, we would love it if you would hit that like button. No, smash it and do it as a prayer to the holy algorithm.
The holy algorithm.
And subscribe, because I got already content on this channel. But maybe you want some terrible gameplay. Adam?
If you're looking for cool videos, then ZOP Gaming is where you should be headed. Well, probably to somebody else, like Markiplier or something like that. But if you want to see a couple of guys just hanging out together, playing video games, not really caring what the algorithm tells them to do anymore, then check out ZOP Gaming. We play fun games.
You totally care what the algorithm says.
No, we really don't.
Yes, you do. Anyway,
We're anti-algorithm.
with that said, how dare you that? We pray and worship the algorithm.
But that's on this channel. ZOP Gaming, whatever.
No, you do not backmouth the algorithm. The holy algorithm.
The holy algorithm.
All right, with that said, let's get to the reading. We'll be back with the conversation about chapter 18.
18. Caverns of Shorn. Zach turned and faced Alkline and took a step. As he brought his left foot down, it gave out on him, causing him to lose his balance, but he was able to adjust his weight, preventing himself from falling over. Aware that his ankle was not good, he continued over to Alkline, putting as much weight on his leg as he could without causing it to give out. Ryan joined him and put his arm over his shoulder to help him out. As they got over to Alkline, he had pulled DL to his feet up against the wall with his sword to his throat. "We got past the soldiers," said Alkline, leaning close to DL. "Now tell us where the stones are located." "You think I'm going to tell you where the stones are?" said DL, "especially after how I was just treated." "Well, if you didn't run," said Zach, hobbling his way over to the side of the building, "I wouldn't have had to throw myself at you like I did." "I just saw you running at me," said DL. "For all I knew, you were going to kill me." "Don't lie," said Alkline. "You were trying to get out of here as fast as you could to avoid us because you know that if anyone could get away from the Lord's men, it was going to be me." "Fine. I was trying to get away," said DL. "Think of it this way. Your best friend comes up to you and demands that you tell him everything you know about where your life work was because he happened to need it. Well, then you will know how I feel and why I turned you in. Nothing means more to me than finding those stones. Is your life more important to you?" said Alkline. "What?" asked DL. "You heard me," said Alkline. "Alkline," said Ryan, "you're not going to kill him, are you?" "I would hope not," said Alkline. "He has turned on to the Sentinels and knows information that could be used against us." "He could have already told them that," said Zach, sitting on the ground with his boot off, looking at his ankle. "He hasn't," said Alkline. "Not yet. If they had the information he had, those soldiers would not have stayed and would have reported to Spear. That's how important the information is. So he has a choice to make. He can protect the location of the stones and die with it, or tell us and trust that once we are through with them, he will get them. In the same way, I will trust he will not give up the information. So DL, what's it gonna be?" You won't kill me, said Dio. Oh, really? Said Alkaline, pressing harder on the sword on his neck, causing a small bed of blood to form. Don't test me, because after what you have pulled today, I would be within every right to kill you. Now tell me, or not, no more time to think. Live or die. Fine, said Dio. You know where they are located. What are you talking about? Asked Alkaline. I know nothing about the stones. No, you do know, said Dio. You brought me to the location years ago. Are you talking about the supposed treasure of the caverns of Shorn? Asked Alkaline. Yes, said Dio. Liar, said Alkaline. You told me that it was a myth because of what is supposed to be living down there. As you said, it is just a trap for those who have a greedy heart and only think about is money and fame. Funny you say that, since all you care about is the fame of finding such a legendary item that is thought not to be real. I am not lying, said Dio. My last clue I found told the location was in the place of a treasure worth more than a legendary mark. I was heading there and made this place up when you came. I needed to get enough money to hire great fighters to accompany me to fight those evil creatures. If the stones are down there, where are they? Asked Alkaline. I am not sure of the exact location, said Dio, since no one has gone down to the bottom level before the drop-off. It could only be assumed somewhere down there. That is all I know. I swear. You better not be lying, said Alkaline. If you are, I will find you wherever you are and drag you before the council. Their punishment will be far worse than me killing you. You should know something then, said Dio. What? Said Alkaline. Part of the plan was to keep some of the soldiers in town, so when you got away from the ones in the mines, you would be caught here, said Dio with a grin. So, even though I told you where the stones are, you will not get away with finding the stones. Yam! The smack of Alkaline's handle of his sword hit DL in the side of the head. DL dropped like a cement block in water and hit the ground with a loud thud. Alkaline turned and faced Zack. How's your ankle? Asked Alkaline. I think it's fine, said Zack, putting his boot back on. Just rolled it while I was tumbling. I should be able to walk. Good, said Alkaline, extending his hand to help Zack up. Once the boot was firmly back on, Zack took Alkaline's hand as well as Ryan's, who also reached his own. Once firmly grasped, they pulled him to his feet. Zack took a few steps, putting more and more pressure on with each step. After 6 steps, he was able to walk normally. We're good, said Zack, turning around to Alkaline and Ryan. Good, said a voice. Zack turned around to see that 6 soldiers with their swords pointed at them. For the first time, Zack had seen what one of the soldiers of the 7 lords looked like. All of them wore the same thing. Light gray chainmail over their chests and arms, most of it being covered by heavy silver armor chestplate and shoulder pads, which had a symbol of a circle with a triangle piercing the circle. They also had gauntlets on their left hand and that firmly grasped their long silver swords. Zack had a hard time looking at them, from the sun reflecting off their helmets, which were also silver and round. Nothing blocked their faces except for the middle soldier, who was the one who called them out. It was clear that his helmet differed from the others. He was the one in charge. Don't even try to run, said the captain. We have you surrounded, and we'll use our marks if we need to. Come peacefully. You have no other option other than to die. Zack, said Alkaline, walking up behind him. Yeah? Said Zack. Duck, said Alkaline. Zack dropped to a hunched position just as 2 bright orange lights flew overhead. Not taking his eyes off the soldiers, he saw the lights slam right into the chest plates of 4 of the soldiers on the side. They flew backwards, smashing into the side of 2 buildings and dropped to the ground. The 2 soldiers turned to see their buddies hit the ground as they turned back to return fire. They were hit right in the head with another flash of light that caused them to drop to the ground, where they were. That was not all. As soon as the 2 remaining guards were dropped, 4 lights hit the building that the 4 soldiers had hit. Zack turned to see that 3 more soldiers had come from around the corner and had fired, but missed. Alkaline turned as Zack did, and in moments they joined their buddies on the ground when 2 more flashes of light hit them in the face. Alkaline quickly turned around to make sure no more soldiers were going to attack. "We've got to get moving," said Zack, standing up. "Yes," said Ryan, walking over to them. "It would be futile. We do not know how many soldiers there are, and where they might be," said Alkaline, turning to face them. "Some have to have heard the scuffle," said Zack, looking around. "We need to at least get away from this area and wait until we see a chance to get into our horses." Zack turned back to face Alkaline, who had stood before him with his eyes shut. Seeing Alkaline again in the middle of a battle with his eyes shut did not please him. He was getting sick of Alkaline, and he reached over, touched Alkaline on the shoulders. As soon as he touched him, a bright flash shocked him, causing him to close his eyes. When he opened them, he was no longer on the ground. He could see the entire city from the tops of the buildings. Thoughts flooded his mind, wondering how this was possible, when he noticed 3 blue dots in the far eastern part of the town with 9 faded red dots around them. That was not all. All over town, Zack counted 20 solid dots moving about. Trying to make sense of it, another flash occurred, and again he closed his eyes. When he opened them, he was again on the ground. Alkaline was before him with his eyes open, and Ryan was next to him with a puzzled look on his face. Zack quickly pulled his hands off Alkaline's shoulders. "What just happened?" asked Zack. "You saw the town, didn't you?" asked Alkaline, shocked. "Yeah," said Zack. "What were those dots, and how did I get up in the sky?" "It is an ability the Sentinels have to help you get out of tricky situations," said Alkaline. "How did you use it?" "I didn't," said Zack. "I just touched you on the shoulder, and the next thing I knew, I was not on the ground." "That is very interesting," said Alkaline. "What are you 2 talking about?" asked Ryan, jumping into the conversation. "I am not sure," said Zack, turning around to look at him. "I swear I just had an out-of-body experience." "You did not have an out-of-body experience," said Alkaline. "You just saw the whole town from overview. The red dots represented people, the blue dots were used, and the red dots were soldiers." "Then I take it the faded red ones were the soldiers around us that are dead?" asked Zack. "Unconscious," said Alkaline. "Normally I would, but killing these soldiers will just make their buddies madder, and thus more determined. I cannot risk that as long as I have you 2 with me." "Okay, what now?" asked Zack. "You saw where all the soldiers were and the purple dots," said Alkaline. "Yeah," said Zack. "They represent our horses," said Alkaline. 6 soldiers are guarding them, so we cannot go get them. We need to get to them without being seen. Once we are close, I can take them out, and the horses will be ours, and we can get out of here." "Okay," said Zack. "You 2 can lead the way," said Ryan, "especially since I have no clue you know how you know this." "Trust me," said Alkaline. "Oh, I do," said Ryan. "Just a little iffy on how you know what you know, that's all." "Let's move," said Alkaline. Alkaline took off back the way they came. Zack turned and followed with Ryan behind him. They ran down the back alley for most of the way, 3 blocks before they would reach the main street. Alkaline stopped as they came to an intersection. Zack stopped and came up behind him, but he did not move or say anything. He went to tap him when he moved and headed down a new street heading up towards the north end of town. Zack followed, every so often. Alkaline would stop for a few moments before taking off again. They made several turns, always heading towards the north, but ever so often they would head east. Zach was not sure, but after taking a left, he heard the rattling of armor in the distance. He assumed the soldiers turned and passed by the turn they came. Several minutes later, they came to the last block of buildings. Zach peered around to see that 20 feet from him, 6 soldiers, keeping a sharp lookout for them. The 6 shiny soldiers formed a semicircle around the horse, so if they came from either direction, they would see them. Zach pulled himself back into the alley and turned to face Ryan and Alkaline. As he turned, he saw Alkaline standing behind him. But he was shocked. His eyes were not closed, but open. However, his eyes were completely black, as if something had possessed him. "Alkaline?" said Zach. "Yeah?" said Alkaline, not moving his head to look at him. "Are you okay?" asked Ryan. "Yeah," said Alkaline. "I am using the ability to make sure the closest soldiers will not be able to get to us before we can get away." "Why are your eyes all black?" asked Ryan. "This allows me to move while maintaining a skyward view," said Alkaline. "Closest soldiers just turn down the alley. Let's move." Alkaline, pushed by Zach, walked out of the alley and turned the corner. Zach shrugged his shoulders, turned, and followed. The 6 soldiers had not noticed them. Alkaline was only 10 feet away when one of them noticed. "You freeze," said the soldier, but cut off as a bright yellowish light crashed into his chest, causing him to drop in his place, and the other soldiers to see what was going on. Before they could turn and make a move, as they saw their fellow soldier drop, 3 more flashes of light slammed into the soldiers, with a flash before they dropped to the ground. With the soldiers down, Alkaline took off for the horses. Zach followed, Ryan behind. As he reached his horse, Alkaline was already on his horse. They both quickly mounted their horses, and once settled, they kicked their horses into gear and took off back towards the mines. Zach was not sure why they were headed back that way, but followed. As they took off, bright flashes shot over their heads. Zach turned to see 3 soldiers coming out of the alley they had come from. All 3 were running as fast as they could, firing fiercely at them. Within moments, they were out of range and the lights stopped. They continued to ride back towards the direction they came from only 20 minutes earlier. Once Cliffy was out of sight, they slowed down, but kept moving at a fast pace. After 20 minutes, they came to the path that leads to the mines. Believing they were going there, Zach slowed, but he noticed that Alkaline was not slowing. So he smacked the reins and the horse picked up speed again. They passed the path, and Zach noticed that they were moving northeast, passing the mountains. 20 minutes later, Alkaline slowed and came to a stop, and Zach and Ryan did the same. Zach was not sure why, but figured it was finally safe. "What's going on?" asked Ryan. "Where are we going?" asked Zach. "We are going to the caverns of Shorn," said Alkaline. "That is our only lead, and DL believed that is where they are located." "He lied to us," said Zach, not happy. "How can we know he's not lying again?" "I know DL," said Alkaline. "I can tell when he's serious. He told us that because I was going to kill him. He also thought that with the soldiers around, we would not be able to get away, and he would be able to get to the stones." "I don't think we should trust him," said Zach. "I agree," said Ryan. "He could just be setting us up for another trap." "You convinced me to bring you 2 along," said Alkaline. "I have gone along with you. Not waiting to climb the mountain, I have put up with more than enough. However, if you don't want to get your friend back, then that is fine. We can wait until Sphere comes for us. It is your choice." Silence. Neither Zach nor Ryan spoke. Not sure if it was smart to trust DL again, but it was the only thing they had. Zach wanted to look somewhere else. But Alkaline had not let any harm come to them, and had put his life on the line for them so many times that he lost track. After thinking and looking at Ryan, Zach responded, "Okay, let's go." "Good," said Alkaline. "The journey is about 3 hours of riding. We should arrive a little after noon. That will give us most of the day to search the caverns. Let's go." "Hold on," said Zach. "What?" said Alkaline. "I have only one question." "What is it?" asked Alkaline. "That skyward view thingy is how you knew the soldiers were there in the mines, as well as the path was there and led back to where DL took off running," asked Zach. "Yeah?" "Okay, let's go," said Zach. Alkaline turned his horse to face northeast and took off with Zach and Ryan following. They traveled at the pace they had been traveling. After half an hour, they came to a river where they had to dismount and walk their horses across. Once on the other side, they remounted and off they were. Over the next 3 hours, they rode, Alkaline leading since he knew where the caverns were. Every so often, Zach noticed that they were changing direction slightly and heading more east than north.
So this should have been about part of the last chapter?
Yes, it should have been part of the last chapter.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. Yeah, it just makes more sense. The cliffhanger was a way to just keep the reading, but what happens here, just keep it together.
Yeah. Also, when did this become a lit RPG?
What are you talking about? It's not a little.
They've got a map.
That is not what
They've
it
got
is.
an overhead map.
That is not what it is.
It's a map.
It's not.
Their
So-
eyes go distance, and they're able to read their character sheets and check their inventory and use the map.
No.
What's next? A cat's going to show up that can shoot lasers out of its eyes?
No.
Guy in his boxer shorts or something?
No.
No?
So, okay. I knew it was going to be in this chapter after the last one because it had to be here because I know it's not in when we get to the Caverns of Shorn.
Right.
Which, by the way, I still don't know why I named this chapter the Caverns of Shorn.
Well, because they mention the Caverns of Shorn.
But they don't go there.
Much like the chapter earlier named Penny, where she says one word.
Yep. But no, this could have been easily been labeled filler.
Oh, probably.
But so I don't know why I named it that, but so I knew it had to be here because I know it wasn't going to be covered in that chat when they actually get there. So it had to be here, or I didn't mention it, and I'm just thinking of later versions. But I knew it had to be here. So let me explain this, because we're going to talk about why this is the one ability that renders everything that has happened in like Zengeni of making sure no one's following you pointless.
It does.
Yes. And Zach is just on the verge of calling that out before he kind of forgot that.
He let it go.
He just forgot about it. He forgot. See, he's just, after the trauma of hitting his head, he's forgotten what happens in Jenny.
Yeah, that's
exactly what happens.
Totally.
Yeah. So
he's suffering a bad case of CTE.
Yeah. So what I call this ability aerial, because what it does is it's not a map. You're literally think of Google Earth. Okay. You're seeing literally,
which is a map.
Google Earth is not a map.
Yes, it is.
It's not a Google map, a map like Google Earth of Eilira. No, you're literally seeing the world from above, but not on the internet or anything. It's literally actually seeing the town. It's not a map.
Okay.
But it's a map.
It's a map.
But not.
It's an overview map.
But it's not an actual map like you were referring to it.
Just saying. Seems like an ability that they have that should be labeled on their character sheet.
They don't have character sheets.
So far. In one of the writings, they have character sheets.
No, actually they don't.
That's why Ryan has all these abilities.
But what it does is it lets you see the area around you, and it marks antagonists, it marks civilians, it marks...
Yeah, we get red marks, and we got blue marks. And then there's purple marks.
Hold on. Because we got the red marks of the civilians, the blue marks of Zach and them, and then we got the red marks of the soldiers, and faded red marks, and then unconscious soldiers. Yeah. Wait, what?
And the purple marks of the horses.
That doesn't get mentioned until later on. But not in the thoughts that we was talking about what the colors were. But yes, that also helps you figure out to get out of sticky situations.
Yes.
It's an ability this is to explain why Sentinels always seem to get away, or maybe certain Sentinels always get away. I actually got this idea from the Aragon movie.
Oh, okay.
So there's a scene where he's learning to bond with his dragon.
Yes.
And he's flying for the first time, and he can see through his dragon's eyes, and you're seeing overwards, and you actually see this like blur as the hero, the mentor,
Yes.
whatever his name is, riding, and that's when I got the idea from.
Oh, okay.
There's nothing grounding, like you're not seeing through an animal's eyes. When I go and rework the story, I'm probably gonna figure out how this works.
He looks through the eyes of the birds above.
One of the solutions I had for it was they use birds. We already have a bird that's pre-established, delivering a message.
Yeah.
They have birds, or they can use their marks to connect to it. I don't know how I'll fix it, but I'm gonna ground it so it makes sense for it. But that was just a way. But when you think about it, why did Alclan need to go out of his loop unless they were trying to lose someone, but never mentioned that in there? The whole thing was redundant.
Yep.
Because he would know if there was someone following them before he ever did that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to say, you might think I thought of this idea while writing. No, I came up with this because on the Aragon movie came out the summer of 2006 when I first came up with this idea. It's one of the very first abilities I ever came up for the Sentinels.
Oh, okay.
So because of that movie, I saw that same summer.
But you didn't add it into the book until
No, I was
near the end of the book.
Apparently, everything I was just like, I probably had an actual reason why he wasn't using it there when I originally wrote this draft. I could not tell you what it was.
That's ridiculous.
Could not tell you what it was. I cannot even tell you if in later drafts I fixed that. Clock of Ages, I'm pretty sure I fixed it. If I kept that wandering around scene, other than that they had to go to this beforehand. But if I did have them wander around, there was a reason for it, at least. Well, we'll find out when we do Clock of Ages in a few seasons.
Hopefully.
But yeah, that was the GIF, and I told you that makes everything in that chapter of the wandering pointless. And that's not even the biggest thing that breaks it. Again, I'm going to keep doing this until we get to the end. The climax is going to make your brain hurt on why this was all had to happen.
All right.
Promise you that.
Okay. All right.
So, but let's get into this. So we have Deal has been caught,
Yes.
and Alclan threatens to kill him if he doesn't give up the story, give up where the location is. I do have a question for you though.
Yes.
Maybe you can answer it. Even
Okay,
though I'm
maybe.
the author,
Right.
maybe you can answer this for me.
Maybe I can.
Why does Deal give it up the location when part of the plan was to leave soldiers in the town?
Because he knew the guys couldn't get away. Because soldiers were still in town.
But if he knew they're in town, so why did he give it up? He could have just tried to buy time. Because he...
I don't... Okay, that part. It's part of his 19 plans. He needed to give them the information so that he knew that they would then leave to go back towards their horses.
Again,
Where the guards would capture him.
I think it was more of I had a reason why I put it in this order. I can't remember what it is. And also, I had no logical way of thinking of how they could argue or convince him to give up the information. So I just wrote it this way. Don't know. Though I do have a question.
You have a question?
Alclan is still planning on giving the stone after this betrayal. What the fuck?
Well,
No. He betrayed it. He didn't get the stones.
well, you know,
No stones for him.
he's like a friend.
Except for kidney stones. He can have those stones.
It's
But
like
no
a-
stones of time for him.
You know, when you have a friend who's a rogue and you're like, I know you've tried to screw me over so many times, but this time I'm still going to give you the thing that you want.
No. That's probably the reason why, though, because remember, this is during a Christian time frame. Even if he made a deal, he'll follow through because they can't be honorable. They can't
I will honor my deal no matter what. And you're like, that's not how anything works.
Because they're the good guys. The good guys would do this. Though he really admits, though, if Zach and Ryan weren't there, he would be killing these soldiers.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of just knocking them out.
He should have just killed them. Yeah, that whole logic of, seeing dead companions make you fight harder. True. But at the same time,
when they're knocked out, they're going to... Now there's more numbers coming after you.
If they wake up, more numbers. Again, I think it's just me trying to justify a good guy.
I mean, he could have turned around and been like, I have a no-killing rule.
Yeah, like I think it was more.
I try not to kill.
It's just me trying to balance the Christian elements of these are the good guys.
Oh yeah, good guys don't do that.
But he will. But in this case, he wouldn't. I don't know what my justification for all that was. But I had probably tied into my good guys don't kill.
Yeah,
unless they have to.
Right.
Type thing. But anyway, they get to the location. The soldiers start coming. Alkaline closes his eyes, and he's sleeping again, apparently, to Zach. Zach, just because their eyes are closed, doesn't mean he's sleeping. But then he touches his shoulder, and he gets to see the big reveal that apparently did not exist in Zenjeni because of reasons. He was too tired, that's why.
Not enough birds. The satellites didn't work in that area.
No, you see, Alkaline just didn't sleep well. He was in the room next to Zach, and Zach snored. And the winds of that were super thin.
His 5G wasn't connected at the time.
Oh, you mean it's 5G?
Oh, that 5G. It's all their fault.
Oh yeah. You mean 5?
You know how you get 'em, you know how you take care of that? A burning bush.
Bush. That's on this channel now.
I know it is.
So
this is the perfect channel for it.
I know.
You could start a religion with that.
Yes, you can. If you know we're talking about the burning bush, go check out the
Writer's Mindscape
podcast on here. That became a running joke on Adam's channel, not related to that podcast, but other podcasts for years.
Yeah, that was a long time. Anyway,
but yeah, so they come. Alkaline does his kung fu blasty thingy shitty.
Yep.
And then they eventually get to the horses, take him out, who are guarding the horses.
Oh, before that.
Oh.
When Alkaline says that he can move around while looking at that
the map.
And his, the whites of his eyes turn black in the low light over there. And I was like, what?
So
all right.
The idea behind that was because he's closing his eyes to see it, the map. Whereas now, because he's not moving, but he needs to be able to move. Well, he can see overhead, but he's also got to be able to see down on. It's supposed to be more like with his eyes open, it's more like an overlay. So you can see both.
So it's a map ability.
But no, it's not a little RPG though.
Sounds like it.
Nope. Why isn't Zach been talking about his stats then?
Because he doesn't know how to open his character sheet.
No.
No one has told him, press C on the keyboard, it will open up your character sheet.
Why would he press C on his keyboard when he's not in front of his keyboard?
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
Oh, that's because he's in a VR headset.
No.
He's trapped in this world.
But they get to the horses, they get on, they take off, ride out of town, and then keep going until they stop. And then Alkaline lays the smackdown saying, we're going there, but Zach bitches and complains again. Alkaline tells him to shut up. We'll just wait here until they come for us, and your friend will be dead. Without actually saying that, though.
Yeah.
Or we can go, and Zach shuts up, and they go off. That's the chapter.
That's it. That's all.
Did you get your Highlander fill?
There wasn't enough Highlander in this one. I wish Alkaline had to have a sword fight with these guys.
Yeah, he never drew a sword. He just blasted people.
Yep.
So you need more Highlander?
We need less blasting of people
And more
and
Highlander?
more Highlander with sword fights.
Okay.
Yeah,
Maybe
if Alkaline could stop blasting guys in the face and instead whip his sword out to clash against other men, that would be so much better.
I don't think you're confusing this one with Red Dead Redemption and Arthur Morgan.
No. Arthur Morgan likes to pull out his pistol and shoot other men. Put that load right on them.
Wow, Adam.
Slug after slug of his load.
Oh.
One day he'll find the booty bandit. It's himself.
So, but yeah, that's... But maybe I'm waiting for all the Highlander for the climax.
Oh, maybe.
That means there must be a lot of climax and lots of
There's going to be
Highlander.
a massive climax.
A massive climax. All over
Hopefully
the place.
Zach, Ryan, and Alkaline will all be part of this
It's
climax.
going to be fun. You hear saying, Adam? Little spoiler here.
What?
Both worlds are going to be hit by the climax.
What? That's how big the climax
Yep,
is?
both worlds.
2 worlds will be shaking from this climax.
Or no, not shaking.
Damn.
Not be shaking. Involved in the climax.
Usually there's 2 worlds involved in my climax. No!
Wow.
Right.
But yeah, so okay, we covered this already, the chapter already. Thoughts? Yeah, we go-
Definitely could be part of the previous
Yep.
chapter. It didn't really need to be its own thing.
No, I don't know why. Because I think I was looking for a split.
Yeah.
And you'd have to look at the bottom of the chapters. I think that it tells it when I originally finished the chapter. 'Cause I did that at that time. I was doing
I'm not
that.
even going to look at it.
At that time, I was doing that because I was so worried about the myth of people stealing stuff. I wanted to have a full on
A record of that.
record on there. Though that wasn't the advice of letting you know that once you write something, you own the copyright already.
No, that's not true at all.
No, it is. It's absolutely true. That's how copyright law. As soon as you write something, it's yours. It's copyrighted to you. Now, it's harder to prove you wrote it first. Then, now how are you going to write to prove that?
That's true.
That's when the actual paying the $50 to get it copyrighted, the trademark and all that comes into play because now you have a actual record of it.
Right.
I mean, there's other ways to prove it. When you got the porn band's copyright, where you mail
it to yourself.
which has been proven and doesn't always hold up in court though.
No.
But by the copyright law, once you write it, you own the copyright. But you then have to be able to prove that if someone's saying I wrote it,
Yes.
you have to prove that in there, and it's a lot harder to do that then. But yeah, it's a story, and I fleshed this out more too.
Yeah,
There's
that's
more
true.
action in later versions. For my second novel, not bad,
No, not bad at all.
but still, you can tell it's like looking back, like that's definitely a second book
Yes.
I've ever written. But how would you improve this besides adding it to the last chapter?
Once again, much like the previous chapter, the story beats are very correct. Other than like reworking some of the prose and ironing out the details, yeah, that's about it.
Mine is just when we're going back to the horses, add more. Because I think in later books, I do make the travel back to the horses a little bit longer. So saying we went this way, then this way, then this way. No, we're back at there, and then this happened. No, you were actually following them, waiting for Alkaline to say, "Okay, go." No, hold up. You see soldiers pass by.
Yes.
A little more that give or take on what this ability now that has been introduced actually can do and why it's so important. At the same time, showing why it absolutely fucks up Zenjini's chapters.
You know, it's okay. Once again, the Wi-Fi wasn't good enough over there.
Yep, apparently not. The flow of the mana was not strong enough in Zenjini.
His chi wasn't strong enough.
No, I figured it out.
Oh,
the
yeah?
corruption, because Zenjini is loyal to the Lord.
Oh, yeah,
The corruption prevented him from seeing it. There you go.
It was a signal jammer.
Yep.
He wasn't able to access his...
all the worship of the lords there washed out the signal. They can't connect.
That's just...
He cannot connect to the world to see the map from above.
The map? You said it was a map. Ha ha!
It's really called the aerial map.
I know.
In the guide. I think it's called aerial. I refer to it as aerial generally as a short term, but I think it's called aerial map.
Okay.
Because I actually think it's only recently I think it's been more of a Google Earth. I literally think it's a digital map, like a map with black edges of the town, versus like a drawing map of the map versus an actual like Google. I see it now that way.
Yeah.
But then Google Maps, I think we're actually around, but it was nowhere like the satellite or like Google Earth versions.
Yes.
So, no, maybe it was. I think I remember actually using it in my first 5 chapters of writing this before when I was trying to pants it. I hadn't realized I was a pantser yet. This was the book I ran it on pantser. Read the introduction, go to the prologue introduction episode of this podcast to learn more about that. Because I think I remember because there was a flood that happened, and I remember looking at the satellite view, I think.
Oh.
To see how it was changed by that flood.
That's pretty cool.
And because of the change to that flood, made me change it from Endicott, New York to Oneonta, New York, my hometown. Instead, because I knew it better. But yeah, just a little bit more tense. Because we didn't get that much in the mines.
Yeah.
Which would be cool, but it doesn't fit the, okay, we're escaping, we're building up the mystery of how did Alcon know this stuff. He's feeding us lies, and it feels like he's just lying to us.
Yeah.
A little bit. So, okay, we don't really need that, but what we do need is, okay, now let's show how powerful, like, this is. And, I don't actually think they ever fight anyone. I think they actually even lure the soldiers away from the horses in later versions.
Yeah, because this one, Alkaline just like, pow, 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 you all done. Anyway, I started blasting.
Yep.
He keeps blasting all the guards.
Instead of pulling out a sword and doing Highlander!
No, we don't get that. No, I am gravely disappointed and my day has been ruined.
Good. I am the ruiner of all good things. Oh, wait, that's Danny Fox. Wrong channel. Again. But yeah, that's how I would improve this one. And I would have tied off once they left town.
Yep.
And then the stuff we see about Alcon saying, fine, you don't want to go? We're going to stay here, wait for Lord Spear to come and kill us.
We'll just sit camp right now.
Until the next chapter. And obviously, rename this chapter from Caverns of Shorn to Filler. Or the map.
The map. Oh, look, a map ability. Chapter 18. Oh, look, a map ability. Yeah, I think that's a better chapter name.
Yeah. But that's really all it is. Okay, and we already know, Adam, more Highlander.
More Highlander. I need to see guys in trench coats and katanas.
You're not going to get the trench coats, Adam.
We got that.
Cloaks? How about cloaks? Cloaks and katanas.
Okay. It's closer. It's closer. You know, you already gave me one book of long coats and katanas.
What about cloaks and not katanas, broadswords?
You know, I can easily change that in my mind to a katana. It's okay.
Okay, yeah, so you've got nothing else?
No.
Yeah, the real big thing was talking about the map.
Yes.
And it's not grounded in how it does really break everything.
It does.
For Zengini.
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really does. Okay, with that said, you made it this far, so we assume you're enjoying this. We would love it if you go on and smash that like button and do it as a prayer. No, actually, you know what? It's got to be a sacrifice to the holy algorithm because of what you're condemning the algorithm last episode. I mean, so do it as a sacrifice to the holy algorithm.
The holy algorithm.
And subscribe because I got writing content on this channel. My other content that's best for you will be on screen now. But maybe you need some entertainment and want to laugh at some people who are bad at playing video games. Adam?
They can hop right over to ZOP Gaming because that's what we're good at.
Being bad at video games? Got
Being
it.
okay at video
Okay,
games.
bad at video games. Got it. So pick something. We'll see you there. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.